Hi, my name is Michael Khanna, and I'm the representative of S.O.S Global Indians. It's a Facebook group which currently has about 12,000 people on it. We're trying to help these people who are currently stranded in the U.S. Through an evacuation solution that we're negotiating with the government. We're also trying to help these people on ground by giving them support links for Medicare, for insurance, for immigration, and essentially trying to band them together into a community so that they're not feeling isolated. I have with me today Ravindra Lakkavalli, and we're here to talk about his story. He is one of our group members, and he is currently also facing a crisis of his own. The idea is to hear his story and interact with him to really realize what is it that he's experiencing, what has he done so far, and what is the expectation from the government and this message. Hi Ravindra, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi Michael.
Yeah, hi. And I just wanted to quickly understand what your situation is really. What is your case? What are the circumstances that you are currently facing? And we can take it from there. So if you could just let me know a little bit, please, about your circumstances.
Sure. So my parents actually, who are elderly senior citizens, they came over here last December to see our newborn son. He was born in October here in USA. So they're here since then, and they were scheduled to travel a couple of weeks back to India. But due to the current crisis, their flights were cancelled, so they are unable to travel. And my parents are actually diabetic, and they also have BP and cholesterol. So we are currently running out of medical supplies as well. So it is extremely important for them to reach back India. So that's the case for that's a problem my parents are facing at this point of time. Now
Right.
with our family, I have my wife, and my two kids. So we are all Indians by citizenship, but our newborn was born here at US. So his OCI is currently pending with the embassy, and then abruptly, because of this COVID situation, everything was put into a halt. So his application is pending. So because of his current situation, we are also unable to travel back to India, and
Right.
all of our visas are expiring by the end of this month. So essentially,
I
what
see.
it means is from June, I wouldn't have a job to work. So I'll have all the expenditures without any income.
Right. So this is now seeming to be a slightly complex situation. You have a couple of things going on. You have your parents who are senior citizens there with you, stranded, stuck. They can't travel back. And you also have an infant, your own kid, who is born in the US, and hence you have applied for an OCI status or OCI card for that kid of yours, and you don't have yet that card, and you don't have that status for your child. So it's in a limbo. It's kind of pending.
Right.
And that means that you are also currently stranded, and you cannot travel without your kid, who's an infant, to India. And then, of course, overall, there is an entire lockdown on travel to India, and hence, there is an evacuation situation going on, and you cannot be part of it.
Yes.
Because of your child.
Right.
And now tell me, Ravindra, what have you exactly done thus far? So far you I'm sure taken some steps. What are those steps? How have you addressed this with the embassy, with the government? Have you done anything? Can you let us know?
So as per the communication from the embassy, we entered all of our information with our passport details into the information sheet, that link that they provided. So we have entered all of that. We also reached out to the embassy asking for any updates on that. So far, we have not received any calls from the embassy as part of the selection for these upcoming evacuation flights. So one another thing that I also discussed was the OCI situation, right?
Right.
So there are a lot of families here in US who have kids born here, right? So because of those kids and their current situation, even the entire family is unable to travel back to India.
Right. Yes.
So it's just not me and my case here, but a lot of people, families are unable to travel. So imagine this: their visas are expired, they don't have a job, they don't have any income, but they are paying huge rents here, huge expenses in terms of.
Yeah, that's the other
grocery.
thing that I was coming to, is that apart from all of this, you are also about to lose your visa validity. and which would clearly then make you unlawful in the US as per US law.
Yes.
And as a result of that, you would also be losing your livelihood, your job, and hence sustaining yourself and your family and your parents who are currently with you then becomes quite a mammoth task in terms of the expenses of living in the US. And unfortunately, you are not in a position to travel back to India right now.
Right.
So this is the complications that you're currently facing. And so did you hear anything from the government? Did the embassy call as far as saying that they will help you in any way during the time that you are waiting for your OCI status? Have you heard anything in terms of an email or a response saying they will try to work out your visa extension or try to resolve the travel issue that you're currently having with your child not being yet given any status as far as OCI is concerned, and clearly because he was born here, he doesn't hold an Indian passport yet. Have they come back to you specifically with anything on this?
So what I've heard back from them, when I put out this question to them, what they've come back with is that they are waiting on the guidelines from the government to allow OCIs also being part of this evacuation efforts. So at this point of time, from government, what they've heard is it's only Indian citizens, right?
What about your other issues, which is visa extension, job loss situation, your parents being stuck, because your parents can travel, right? Even
right.
if I for a minute say that if you are 2 units and at least your elderly senior citizen parents could be put on an evacuation to reduce the strain that is currently on you, because you are about to lose your job, lose your visa, there's already that risk. Have they reached out saying, okay, let's help you resolve your visa situation, maybe we'll give you an extension of the visa somehow, maybe we'll take your parents back on an evacuation flight and make it easier for you to deal with this, and in the meanwhile we'll work on your child's OCI status and come back. Has that happened?
No, I think a part of it has happened. The only thing that has happened so far is that they're planning to take my elderly parents back there. So that's all is just in an email, but nothing is confirmed so far.
Okay.
They were not selected as part of the phase 1 flights. So I'm not confident, that they might or they might not get a call for phase 2.
What is your thought, Ravindra, on this process of selection? This random digital selection that is being followed for these evacuation flights. What's your thought on that?
I was about to just come to that actually, Michael. So I think it is extremely unjust. It's going to do a lot of. It's not the right way of selecting the candidates for this evacuation flights, right? It is, just think about it. We all make a big hue and cry about the visa process selection that US actually holds for their H-1B. It's all digital lottery-based selections, right? So not the right people are getting. They're eligible, but they're not getting selected for these. So I think that's I think is the main concern. So as you can see, my parents are diabetic. My mom has arthritis; she can't walk very well, and my dad has cholesterol, BP, and is also diabetic. And their medical supplies are running out, but they don't get selected because of this particular way of selection. So I just feel like it's definitely not a fair way of selecting.
So there is a sense of I would say distress or disappointment that even when it comes to our own say country. In this situation, as Indians and as Indian citizens, we expect that at least when it is a situation like this and people need to be evacuated, I guess the expectation is that everybody should be given a fair chance to be on the evacuation flight, and it shouldn't be left to a system or some kind of a random selection to decide whose crisis is greater than whose. Anything else like a comment that you would like to leave with us in terms of an expectation from this communication? What is your plea, say, to the government or to anybody who's hearing you right now?
So my plea to the government would be to first consider the senior citizens pregnant ladies, right, and families who doesn't have a job, and they're running out of money, and they're running out of all medical supplies, right? So I would, that's my main, I think government should really focus on that and really concentrate on focus on those people getting evacuated first. And obviously in my other case with the OCI, if they can really take care of the OCI kids, and or for example, my case where my kids' application is pending, but can they have the e-visas at least started, so that there are a lot of families stuck here because of their kids' situation and they're unable to travel.
So find some solution, basically, some solution to be provided, so that people in your situation, or even worse situations than yours, can find a way to get back home to India and tide over this problem, because right now it's difficult for people to even sustain and be over here in the US with the COVID situation existing, and so on and so on, and other ramifications that are happening as a result of. Excellent. Thanks so much for your time, Ravindra, and I do wish that very soon I hope to see at least your parents first on an evacuation flight, and soon after there is a solution for your kid, and you would be home with your family as well in India. Have a great day, and thanks for your time, and we shall circle back and connect with you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.